Hey now Deadheads, we are back again, and today it's with the contents of this beautiful box that is, of course, this year's CD box set from the Grateful Dead. This is the 19 CD Friend of the Devil's box set that came out a few weeks ago now, and boy have I been enjoying it over these past few weeks. Now I'd like to share my thoughts on the music in this release, the sound quality of this release, the packaging quality of this release, but before we get to that, let's open up this box set and see what's inside. The first thing that we see when we take this lid off is what they call the wave drum. So check this out. It's actually a playable drum so that you can play along with the Rhythm Devils during these early drums and space segments within the 8 shows within this box set. And then underneath this wave drum we have the liner notes, and these are quite impressive liner notes. It's actually a lengthy essay from the late great Steve Silverman, who passed away a couple months ago, as well as some great production notes from David Lemieux. When we look at the backside of these liner notes, this booklet, we have the edition number. And so I actually got a high edition on this one, close to the 10,000, which this is a limited edition run of 10,000. And then when we pull out this drawer, we have 8 individual concerts, 8 different nights from April 1978 from the Grateful Dead. And I like how each of these are uniquely packaged with a ticket stub from each of these individual nights. So some of these are 2 CD sets, some of these are 3 CDs, just depends on the length of the show and where they could cut the songs. And it's 19 CDs that span these 8 concerts. So it's a fairly straightforward package, but I think a very well produced package. In fact, this is probably one of my favorites from the past few years. I didn't get the St. Louis Listen to the River box set, but I did get the Madison Square Garden box from 2 years ago, some local concerts from the early 80s, as well as the 1973 box set, June 1973 box set, which I think you can kind of see right above my shoulder right over there. And that was a really well packaged box set as well, but this one takes the cake for me. I especially like the included drum, and I think this tells a very nice thematic story with the Rhythm Devils, the advent of drums and into drums in space, as well as just letting everyone play drums alongside Mickey and Billy during these spring 1978 shows. It really wasn't just the 2 of them, but everyone was invited on stage to play percussion instruments, whether it's the touring chef banging on pots and pans. Jerry and the rest of the boys made an appearance every once in a while during these 10 to 20-something minute drums and drum segments that they called Rhythm Devils. And so it's really nice that you, the buyer of this box set, can play along with the Rhythm Devils almost 50 years later. And I think that's very cool. Now, I've seen a few comments about the sound quality of this box set. I am inclined to agree. When I listened to the first concert from this box set, the first of 8, I believe that's Tampa, Curtis Hickson Hall, I was a little bit underwhelmed. My gear is okay. It's not great. I've got a Project CD player. I've got my KEF speakers behind me. I've got my entry-level PS audio amp. And I was a little bit underwhelmed with that setup, and I've heard other folks a little bit underwhelmed as well. Now, it wasn't until I ripped these CDs, I put on my nice headphones, my Sennheiser HD6 something or others, added a little EQ to my Plex amp. It really started to come to life, and I was really able to cut through some of that. Just couldn't get in the zone, but when I had the headphones on, when I had the EQ going, it really started to dial in. And I think that this is a collection of concerts that really needs to be dialed in. They are Betty boards, just like for example, Get Shown the Light box set, that May 1977 box set, and where that's easy to dial in. You can put that on anywhere. You can put that on a cheap Bluetooth speaker. You can play it on your stereo. You can play it anywhere, and it usually sounds pretty good. I found that this box set is a little bit more demanding of attention, care, consideration. Maybe play around with a couple different DACs, play around with a couple different CD players, if you've ripped the files to your computer, different pairs of headphones, or even some digital EQ to help dial in that sound. And I think the more work that you put into this box set, the more you get in return. And so it requires a little bit more attention than some of those other Betty boards, but I think the juice is worth the squeeze in this case. Now let's talk about some of the songs that are on this box set. I find that the songs that you don't get a lot of are the most rewarding. Like, there's only a couple Truckins, I believe. I think there's only one playing in the band Sandwich, a couple Terrapins, and one Dupree's Diamond Blues. And I think those rarities in the box set are some of the obvious standouts for me. Another thing that really stood out, though, I've always liked Lazy Lightning into Supplication, but this box set, Bobby's playing, Bobby's singing, Bobby's performance on this box set really solidified Lazy Lightning into Supplication as a favorite of mine, which I didn't think I'd ever be saying that, but that's really shining for me, and maybe I've just been missing out on Lazy Lightning and Supplication for all these years. A very similar story for Estimated Profit. Now, I like Estimated Eyes. I would never skip Estimated Eyes, but with this box set, it made me really appreciate Estimated Profit in a way that I maybe haven't appreciated it previously. It's amazing what the right collection, what the right box set, right set of shows can really turn you on to. And so once again, I have to commend, Grateful Dead Productions, Rhino, Dave Lemieux, everyone involved in this box set. I think they've continued to outdo themselves year after year over the past couple years. They set a really high watermark with that 30 Trips Around the Sun box set, even the Pacific Northwest box set, that massive box set, really beautifully produced box sets. And I think they continue to deliver year after year and innovate. It's not just booklets, sticker sheets, and different shapes of packaging, but very contextually relevant pieces to the packaging that I don't really see anyone else doing. I think the Dead really stand out in that way. They continue to impress me year after year. And so that's it for this box set. I think I mentioned during my last video, there's a few things coming out soon. Record Store Day, Black Friday with that Jerry Garcia Electric on the Eel. I believe that's the fourth, could be third, either third or fourth release from that series. Late 80s, I think into 1990 series from the original CD box set of Electric on the Eel. Of course, we're getting Grateful Dead, another fourth and final release from the Get Shown the Light box set. And then we are also getting a reissue of Cow Palace 1976 New Year's Eve from exclusive to Experience Vinyl, and they are charging a pretty penny for that. It's quite an expensive pre-order, but if you don't have the Cow Palace New Year's Eve 1976, it's still a lot cheaper than what's going on Discogs and eBay these days. And Dave recently announced the fourth and final Dave's Picks release for this year. I believe it's a mid-80s show. That's coming soon, so excited about that one. And I don't think that there's any other Dick's Picks or Dave's Picks coming out on vinyl this year. I haven't heard anything from Real Gone, who's been the kind of exclusive reissue partner for those Dick's Picks vinyl box sets. Don't think that they have another trick up their sleeve for this year, but I could be mistaken. And I think Dave already gave us our one vinyl box set of Dave's Picks for this year. But looking forward to see what he's got up his sleeve early next year. I think it's usually December or January that they announce those pre-orders, and so looking forward to that coming up soon. Now that's it for today. I've got another project up my sleeve that's not necessarily Grateful Dead related, so you may be seeing that pop up on the channel soon, depending on how long that project takes, so stay tuned for that. It's a pretty big project, and I'm excited to share that with you guys if all those pieces fall into place. But look forward to that. But once again, thank you for joining me today and letting me share my excitement for this latest release from the Grateful Dead. All right, peace.